So I just want to go through on here and show you how to do these because it's going to make a difference on probably your completion. So it's just like yesterday. You just go through and you do the addition method. As you can see, the numbers are large enough that you don't want to try to do this in your head. Definitely write it out. Step 0, before you even start step 1, step 0 is to copy the problem correctly onto your paper. Sometimes that's an issue. Just be careful there. Mind the signs. Like here, you have negative 16 and negative 10. So that's negative 16. And then if you have some bigger numbers, just make sure you go ahead and use a calculator. So that would be 160. And write out every step very clearly. Don't try to write small on the paper and save space. You don't want to miss a little negative and have it ruin the whole problem. So here we'll get negative 10. And you just have to go to the right variable, make sure you put it in the right place. This is y, so that's where negative 10 would go. You pick one of the two equations for your check. Right? So I'll just pick the top one. We got negative 6x minus 6 times negative 10, right? Equals 15. And once again, show all the work, just to be very careful. So we got negative times negative, so that's positive. And throughout the day, the number one mistakes have been not realizing something was a negative or a positive and messing up on the sign. It seems the arithmetic be actually very close to being right, but just maybe one or two things with negatives wrong. So use a calculator if you're not sure. Always verify. Okay. So this is what your paper should look like for each sum. Right? Now, before you do this, and this is important, I use the top equation here to find out what the other variable was. Use the other equation for a check. So when you're doing this, there's at no time that you should have this feeling. I have an answer here, I'm not sure, and you're dreading to hit check because it might be wrong. You should never have that feeling because you can always check your answer before you hit go. So you use the other equation and just plug everything in. So I got 9 times x, which is 5, minus 10 times negative 10, and that should equal 145. If it doesn't equal 145, something's wrong. We get 45, and then 10 times 10, negative times negative positive, we get 100. And sure enough, it equals 145. If this came out to any other number, do not hit check. Go back in your work and find the mistake. Fix it, change your answer, do another check using the same equation, and make sure you get the same thing on both sides. And then when you go over here, you're not worried if it's right or wrong. You have to get 5 in a row correct. Okay? You have to get 5 in a row correct. So you don't want to have to risk starting over. This could be, each problem is, you could say 2.5, maybe to 5 minutes. So if you get 4 in a row, that could be a half hour of work that you'll throw away because you didn't want to do a check just to make sure before hitting enter. So this is more about you doing a check than anything else. The elimination method, as you see, is pretty simple. It's watching out for a negative. The algebra is simple. The arithmetic missing one negative is very easy. I do it as well when I don't check. I make mistakes. So you should have 3 parts when you're solving one variable, solving for the next variable, and then a check for each problem, and you'll finish in this period no problem. Okay? It'll be actually easier than you think. But as soon as you skip this, well, I don't want to do this extra work right here, you might risk everything and start all over because of that. Well, I wanted to save 1 minute or minute and a half of extra seconds. So it's not really worth it. Most people will check every once and will get it up, and hopefully that's not you. Okay. So I'll print out some scratch paper, and if you finish this and you haven't done the solve by graphing yet, where the two lines intersect, you can go ahead and work on that.